But now that we're talking about it, I am curious a little bit on a little insight about Yamamoto, really. I mean, look, he came out on 0 days rest and sacked up for everybody. 2 1/3 on the final day. Game 7 was warming up after a complete game shutout in LA. Famously doesn't really lift weights, has his own routine, has his own trainer. I'm just curious, like watching him go about his business the first 2 years. Like, what's the most impressive part? Is it like a discipline thing? Is it like a mental game thing, or is it like just basically his training style?
For me, I think, you know, like people forget, like obviously, you come from people knew his name, but like people didn't really know who he was. And like there was a lot of criticism about behind the fact of a guy getting $325 million before throwing a single pitch in the league. And like people forget how like young he was. He came in at like 24, and like 24 is not that old in baseball. Like that is very young. That is very like, people can be very raw at 24 years old. And like he came in, and like the one thing that people don't talk about coming into our locker room, it could be an intimidating locker room to come into, bro. Like
Got
there's
stars.
just there's just name after name. I'm like, I think I'm the only one in that locker room. Probably me and Miggy Rowe. We're the only two that haven't been All-Stars. I had like 26 guys. It's wild. And it's not an easy locker room to come into, especially at 24 years old, coming to a new world, because if you go to Japan and visit, you understand like, well, like life is different, language barriers, like people underestimate the what language barrier can do to you. And like he came in and he's like, hey, I got my routine, and like people might whatever you want to think, but like I'm gonna do my routine. This is what works for me. And he's got a very different one, and he just came in day one and he started doing his thing. And Game 7 of the World Series, 2 years, like a full season later, he's doing the same thing. And it's just like the consistency of his work and how focused he is when he's working. It's crazy. Every day you got music in the weight room just blasting, and every day is a different type of music. And of course, the starting pitcher gets to choose his music that day. And like, there's just a different type of, like, when you don't understand the language, the music sounds like sounds, and there's just a really loud different sounds just blasting in your ears. And this dude is just doing all these balance stuffs, breathing out of the straw. Like, it is insane. You have people like me behind him trying to make him laugh, trying to like do stuff behind him and like things like that. Um, and he doesn't break. And I mean, when I first saw him, I'm like, with that body and this workout style, not lifting weights, I don't know how long he's gonna last. But he's got it down, man. And there's nothing more impressive than watching this dude play catch.
Oh my God, unbelievable.
He's got the prettiest throw in baseball, and once he's done throwing those javelins, you're gonna have to take 30 minutes to an hour to like out of your time to go outside and watch him play catch, because he goes through his shit, and like he like comes set, and like he really thinks about it in between every throw. And like sometimes he doesn't like it and he like steps off even though there's no mound, and he gets back into it. And then he just, from like 400 feet away, just as if he's throwing a home plate, and he just throws it on the line, dude. And I mean, the dude is an animal, and obviously he deserves every step that they gave him. And there's just that little guy, nicest guy in the world, but man, he's got that FU when he's on the mound. That stadium is his, and he's shown it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been obsessed watching him from a distance from a long time. Obviously, the unique delivery, the unique approach, but I mean, back to back MVP Sawamura awards in Japan from 21, 22, 23, like, that's insane. Like, that's a great league over there. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro, so like, I think he did 6 years over there. I think that's how it works here. The posting system, either 6 or 7, and he's got his 2 years here. He has won the championship more than half of his years in the big leagues, at the big league level, whether in Japan or in the US. The guy is a winner. He wins everywhere he goes. He won the WBC. Like, the guy is a winner.
yeah.
And like that quote that just came down there by Carlos, losing is not an option. When he said that shit in the press conference, I was like, I had the goosebumps.
Hell
I was
yeah.
like, oh baby, talk dirty to me. I freaking love this shit,
I love it.
But that's Yama. That's Yama, man.
It was so sick to watch. I mean, I did a whole bunch of videos on it because, you know, the combination of velocity, pitch, you know, different pitch types, command, even fielding his position, like there's no weaknesses, there's no cracks. So, and this Jay Farrell also mentions he also won an Olympic gold medal. So all he's done is win, no matter what, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see a guy that throws like he's like an overpowering pitcher because he's got stuff, he's got, you know, power and stuff, but he's got like almost like Greg Maddux command.
He does.
That's the part that's wild. Like he's just dotting those fastballs down and away, like it's just like he's throwing 90 miles an hour, and he's throwing every pitch at full effort. It just doesn't look that way because his delivery is so consistent and so pretty. But like this dude is pitching like he's throwing in the low 90s at like upper 90s.
Who do you think had better command that you played with, Greinke or Yama?
It's tough because I only played behind Greinke for a year.
Only the
and
one
the year
year.
that I played behind, and the year I played behind him, I mean,
2015.
He didn't win the Cy Young because Arrieta just some being from a different planet came over, took over his body, and just proceeded to have the second half that he had. But I was playing center field that year a lot, and I was playing right behind the mound because we didn't have cards back then in 2015. And it was impressive what he was doing. He was throwing 94, 95 with like his changeup was like 91, 92, and then his slider was like 90 miles an hour. It was really sick. It was, to me, that was, like that year I was just like, I never took it for granted. I was like getting to play center field like right behind the mound because we're not really moving that much with Hirsch and Greinke, like getting to watch this thing back to back nights. It was sick.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't win the Cy Young. I mean, 222 and a third with a 166, 19-3,
Yes.
and I think that was the year he had the strikeout. Like the scoreless streak
The
going.
scoreless, yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'll never forget. It was a play ground ball to first base.
That he lost it.
Ground ball to first base is when he lost it. I think we were playing at Citi Field maybe when he lost the streak.
Yeah,
But that
it's
was
so
it was cool to be a part of that.
All right, let's move on to two plays in the World Series that I'm curious to get your take on. Number one is the play that you ended Game 6 on. I'll show the broadcast and I'll show the high home because were you playing shallow on your own here?
Yeah, I mean the card had me playing shallow, but after the game I asked Evil, he's in charge of the outfielders. I was like, hey bro, like I banked the card, and I was like, I said I thought to myself, I was like, I gotta be willing to answer some tough questions after this game if I get a ball over my head, because I'm basically telling the front office, screw you, I'm gonna play where I think I'm gonna play.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work out, then, well, that was the end of me as a Dodger, you know? But, I cannot I gotta put myself in a position to where if a ball gets hit in front of me, I keep the runner that's at second, at third, but I'm also in a good position where I don't have to go for it with a throw to home plate. I can make a strong low throw and keep the batter runner at first because he's the winning run.
Yeah.
So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna play in, and then I turned out to be 7 feet in front of where they wanted me to play.
I love your baseball instincts here because you're right. Look, it's Jimenez. He's probably not going to burn you here with the ball over your head. More than likely, he's looking to make a little contact, spray it the other way, drive these runs in with a single. So I think you played it perfectly, honestly. I mean, obviously.
To me was like, if you go back to when Glass is on this, like when he's coming set, like with Glass now on the mound and the high home, like to me, Glass now's heater, like his extension. But look how big that gap, that hole between shortstop and third base is.
Yeah, massive. You could drive a truck.
Every scenario that was in my head, it was never a fly, like a ball in the air. Every scenario that I ran through in my head before this pitch was like, he's gonna hit a ball in between short and third.
Yeah, you're seeing that gap right in front of you.
It looks massive. Like Glass is, his shit plays up a lot, so guys tend to be late. He's coming out of the pen, so he's probably gonna be 1 or 2 miles per hour harder. Like I was just like, I need a ground ball. I need to keep him at third because Barger at second base is fast, and Jimenez is fast at home plate. I was like, I need to be able to not let those guys get more than 90 feet. And luckily for me, the crowd went a little quiet right at like when at release, and it got quiet enough to where I could hear the bat break, and I was able to get that read, and then in left field, I'm just playing shortstop or third base out there, and I have the whole field in front of me, and I don't even have to like really look at where the runners are to like feel where they're at. And I felt like he got a big lead at second base, and I gave a quick short throw. I tried to make a better throw, but I gave him a decent enough throw. I think if he goes as a first baseman and he like steps into like me, he might not have such a hard pick, but he caught it. We won. That's all that matters.
He's got those monos, man. He really does. And
Yeah, he does.
you know, one thing that was very telling to me on this play is if you watch the mechanics of everybody else on the field, everybody else thought this ball was a hit off the bat. Like literally, Muncy goes to line up to home. Literally, Glasnow's starting to run back pedal to get behind home. Like obviously, they had a little confusion on the base paths, so. You know, you made it look easy because your jump was so good and your positioning was so good, but definitely off the bat, this ball read like a hit to most of the people on the field, which I thought was interesting to see. Like, not even just the base runner, like even some of the fielders on the Dodgers as well. So, I don't know, just a great.
I sometimes I don't believe analytics because it said it had 40% catch probability. I'm like, bro, like that ball not only I catch in the air without sliding, but I caught it up here, like. How is that 40% chance? You're telling me 60% of the chance that ball, 60% of the time that ball drops?
Yeah, it's BS. It's just a combination of exit velocity and launch angle. Like all the exit velocity and launch angles in general, like it takes out. Baseball Savant doesn't use direction, so it's just like this ball could be in the gap. It could be, you could be playing deep or whatever, and that's kind of why it probably grades it that way. But yeah, they got to work on that catch probability stuff. It's not ideal. All right, and then the second one, obviously, is the play where you get tackled by Pages. And I've maintained, and I know you maintain as well, that you were catching this ball. But this ball was in the air for an awful long time. And,
luckily.
Man, and you see Yoshi's reaction, of course, was like a little bit like, praying for this ball to come down in a glove. But you were also playing in here as well, a little shallow here?
I was playing about normal. But the problem was the location of the pitch. Like obviously, like me as a defender, and like I'm not the fastest guy. Like I depend on reading swings, and like the pitch from left field looked like it was gonna bounce.
It almost bounced, yeah.
And like Ernie has this like not weird swing, but he's got like this swing where like almost like he's so short to the ball that it almost looks like he's like half swinging every time.
Yeah, he's got no load. He just kind of goes pop.
Yeah. Right, and he probably dropped 7 balls in front of me this series, and like I saw the pitch and I thought that it was like off the end bloop, so like I took like a half false step in, and then I rapidly realized, oh shit, I gotta go for this ball. But like I mean, I ran forever, and I realized that the ball was enough towards the gap where I wasn't gonna run into the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure enough, the only thing I gotta worry about is the wall.
Yeah, you ran a long way.
I forgot I had a teammate, but yeah, I mean, I'm not the type of guy, like if, I would say that I didn't have it, but I mean, you look at the angle and I'm like slowing down already because I have the ball. I'm just getting in a position to like, I'm gonna have to Willie Mays it. I'm just trying to get in a better enough angle to where like the basket catch is gonna be somewhat comfortable. And Bias took me out, but like I went down. He didn't hit me that hard. I just went down because both my feet were kind of off the ground because I'm like trying to slow down and time the ball, and like both of my feet were kind of off the ground, and that's why I went flying. And of course I thought we lost the game, so I'm just
that's
depressed.
What you're doing here. You're on the ground like crap. We lost.
Yeah, you've been on the like I'm sure like when you're on the mound, like things like that happen. Like it feels like an eternity, and so many things go through your head. Like one of the first things that came to my head was, this is how the World Series ended, and this video is gonna show up, like it's gonna be replayed forever, and we lost the World Series. Meanwhile, I got tackled, and this video is just gonna show forever, and I was just very sad at the moment.
Yeah.
And I went into a deep depression for like 10 seconds there. So Pajes was like, "Hey, bro, are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, did you catch it?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, fuck yeah! What am I doing here then?"
Dude, that was crazy, man. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I actually thought it was a great job by Dave, to be honest, continuing to manage in that spot.
Yeah, I mean,
not forgetting.
Pages came in the game for his arm, not for his glove, because we were in a bases loaded, less than 2 out situation where fly ball, you need to be able to throw the guy out. So we took Tommy out, and we brought in Pies for his arm, and it ended up being his legs and his glove that, you know, potentially saved the season. If, you know, for those people that think that I couldn't catch it, you know, Pies' legs and glove saved us.
ゼロ日間の休養でワールドシリーズ大失戦のマウンドに上がった男がいます。山本由伸です。第6戦で完封勝利を挙げた後も LA でブルペンに入って肩を作り、そして決戦の大失戦ではまた平然と2回3分の2を投げ切る。チームメイトはこう言います。みんな忘れてるけどさ、あいつ24歳で来たんだよ。325ミリオンの契約をメジャーで1球も投げる前にもらってさ。しかもあのドジャースのロッカーに入ってくるんだ。ベッツ、フリーマン、大谷、カーショー。ロッカーにはスターの名前がずらりと並ぶ。話している本人は俺と右色ハスくらいだよ。スターじゃないのと笑いながら、24歳であそこに飛び込むのは正直めちゃくちゃ怖い環境なんだと打ち明けます。言葉も違う、文化も違う、何もかもが新しい世界。それでも山本はロッカーに入った初日からはっきりとこう示したと言います。これが自分のルーティンです。人がどう思おうと関係ない。自分はこれをやる。これでやってきた。そして面白いのは、そのルーティンが2年経っても1ミリも変わっていないということです。ワールドシリーズ大失戦の朝になっても、彼は結局同じメニューを同じテンションで同じ集中力でこなしている。話している側も思わずこうこぼします。結局山本はデビューした日も2年目の大失戦も同じことを同じ集中力でやってる。その一貫性とフォーカスが本当に化け物級なんだ。ウェイトルームでも異質です。重りをガンガン上げるわけでもなく、彼はひたすらバランス系のトレーニング、ストローみたいなものを加えて呼吸をコントロールしながら、信じられないような体幹メニューを延々と続ける。後ろではチームメイトがわざとふざけて笑わせようとしても、山本は微動だにしない。最初見た時は正直思ったよ。あの体で、そのトレーニングで、どれだけ持つんだって。でも、今はもう何も言えない。あいつは分かってるんだって認めるしかない。そして、彼らが口を揃えて、一番やばいというのが、キャッチボールです。ジャベリンを投げ終わると、今度は外に出てロングトス。400フィート先でも、まるでホームプレートを狙うかのように、一直線のボールがビュンと伸びていく。一球投げるたびに、セットポジションに入り直し、気に入らなければ、マウンドでもないのに一度ステップオフして、もう一度構え直す。キャッチボール見てるだけで、30分1時間が溶けていく。あれを見たら、この男には1セントの無駄もないってわかる。しかも、見た目はあんなにスムーズなのに、実は全ての球を全力で投げている。ストレートは100マイル近く、変化球のキレもえぐい。それなのに、フォームが綺麗すぎて、90マイルを軽く投げているようにしか見えないとまで言われる。球威もあるのに、コマンドが魔法みたいなんだ。外角低めに、あれだけストレートをビタビタ決め続けるやつなんて、見たことがない。そして、もう一つ、マウンドに上がった瞬間、あの小柄な日本人は別人になります。普段は誰よりも礼儀正しく、誰にでも優しい、ナイスガイ。でも、マウンドに立った時だけは、スタジアム全体に向かって、ここは俺の場所だという、静かな F ワードを叩きつけている。それをチームメイトはこう表現します。世界一ナイスな男なのに、マウンドでは負けは選択肢じゃないと思ってる。あのスタジアムは完全に彼のものだ。実際、数字もそれを裏付けます。日本では2021、22、23年と沢村賞3年連続、NPB での6年と MLB での2年、その半分以上のシーズンでリーグ優勝かチャンピオンを経験している。WBC でも優勝、オリンピックでも金メダル、行く先々でただ勝ち続けているだけの男。そんな山本がドジャースで負けは選択肢にないと会見で言った時、画面越しに鳥肌が立ったと語る選手もいました。山田、これが山田。そう言い切るチームメイトの声には、同じフィールドに立っている者だけが知る色輪が混じっています。そしてこの勝ちに対する執念は投手だけでなく守備にも現れます。ワールドシリーズ第6戦、レフトの男はデータシートの指示を無視して前進守備を取りました。もし頭を越されたら試合後にフロントからきつい質問をされる。それでも俺は前に出るべきだと思った。そう覚悟を決めてカードが示す位置より7フィート前に出た。相手打者の特徴、投手グラスナウの伸びるストレート、ショートとサードの間にポトリと落ちる打球のイメージ、すべてを頭の中でシミュレーションして、ここしかないと一歩前に出た結果が あの試合を締めくくったスライディングキャッチにつながりました。打球が飛んだ瞬間、ほとんど全員がヒットだと思って動いている中で、彼だけが折れたバットの音から大元地点を完璧にイメージしてスタートを切っていた。数字上ではキャッチ確率パーセント C10。でも本人はこう笑います。いやいや、あれでパーセント40なら残りパーセント60の世界はどこにあるんだよ。第7戦ではさらに長い打球を追いかけ、あと一歩のところでチームメイトと衝突しながらも、結果的にその味方のグラブにボールが収まった。地面に倒れ込みながら、これでワールドシリーズを落としたら、このプレーの映像が一生リプレイされるんだろうな。10秒くらい本気で落ち込んでいたというエピソードも、どこか人間味にあふれています。投手山本由伸の異常なまでのルーティンと勝者のメンタリティ、外野手たちの本能とデータの様までギリギリを攻める守備位置取り、そしてその全てをつなぎ合わせて、負けは選択肢ではないという空気に変えてしまうドジャースのクラブハウス。この会話の断片から浮かび上がるのは、一人の日本人エースの物語であると同時に、今ロサンゼルスで動いている勝つことしか知らない集団の姿でもあります。山本由伸という名前がこれから先何年もワールドシリーズの舞台で呼ばれ続ける理由が少しだけ見えてくる、そんな裏側のストーリーでした。